Recovered audio transcript. Twilight Registry audio archive. Reference RA0038. Origin. A payphone unit located at a decommissioned gas station on Route 11, approximately 4 miles outside Harlan, Kentucky. The gas station closed in 2019. The phone was disconnected from the regional bell system in 2020. The phone company confirmed the line was physically severed at the junction box. There is no active circuit. There is no dial tone. The coin slot is welded shut. The phone began generating call records on January 7, 2026. A date of analyst at the regional telecommunications office flagged the anomaly. A single outgoing call, placed every night at 2 a.m., originating from a disconnected payphone number. The call duration varies. The shortest was 43 seconds. The longest was 11 minutes and 6 seconds. The destination number is the same as the originating number. The phone is calling itself. The registry dispatched a field team to the gas station on January 14th. They arrived at 1:47 a.m. The payphone was inside the station's front vestibule, behind a door with a broken lock. The handset was off the cradle. It was warm to the touch. The field team confirmed there was no active phone line. The junction box was present, the wires were cut, and the ends were corroded. At 2 a.m., the phone rang. The field team recorded the event. I'll read the transcript. The phone rings 3 times. Then the receiver lifts. There's a sound of air moving. Not wind, not static. A slow, rhythmic displacement of air. Like breathing, but from a space larger than the phone's interior. Our audio analysts describe it as the ambient sound of a room that doesn't exist. Then a voice. Male. Middle-aged. The dialect is consistent with Eastern Kentucky. The recording quality is degraded, not from technical limitations, but from the sound itself. The voice seems to occupy a frequency that interferes with the microphone. The voice says, "I know you're there. I can hear you breathing." Silence. 3 seconds. The voice says, "You're standing in the vestibule. You're holding something. A light. No, 2 lights. You're holding 2 lights, and you're afraid." The field team confirmed they were holding 2 flashlights. No one else was in the building. No one was within earshot. The voice was coming from the handset. The voice says, "I called you. I call every night. You never answer." More silence. Then the voice says, "That's all right. I don't need you to answer. I need you to listen." The voice begins describing a room. A kitchen. The kitchen has yellow walls and a window that faces east. There is a table with 4 chairs. One of the chairs is pushed away from the table as though someone stood up quickly. On the table, there is a plate with food that has gone cold. There is a glass of water. There is a folded piece of paper. The voice says, "This is where I was when it happened. This is the last room I was conscious in." The field team noted, the voice is not calling from inside the phone. The voice is calling from somewhere else. The phone is a conduit. The handset is a mouthpiece for a room that has no physical connection to the device. The voice continues. "I was eating. I was alone. I heard the phone ring. I thought it was strange because the phone had been disconnected for months. But it rang. I stood up. I crossed the kitchen. I opened the back door. I could hear the phone ringing from the gas station. It's a quarter-mile away. But I could hear it through the back door. The voice pauses. The rhythmic breathing returns. Then, I walked to the phone. I picked up the handset, and someone was already on the line. The field team reported the ambient temperature in the vestibule dropped 4 degrees during this portion of the recording. Their instruments registered no explanation for the temperature change. The voice says, the voice on the other end was mine, but it was wrong. It was my voice from a different night. A night I hadn't lived yet. It told me what was going to happen. It told me about the plate on the table. It told me about the glass of water. It told me about the folded paper. The voice says. I asked it what the paper said. It said, "You're going to open this door and walk to the phone and hear yourself tell you what you already know." The field team's audio recorder captured a sound at this point that was not present in the original recording. A second voice, faint, coming from outside the vestibule. The field team described it as distant, as though someone was calling from across the parking lot. But the voice had no directionality. It was everywhere. The second voice says, "You already opened the door. You're already walking. You're almost there." The first voice says, "I know. I've always been almost there." The field team reported. At this moment, the handset began to vibrate. Not ring, vibrate. The vibration was continuous and low frequency. One of the field agents touched the handset and described the sensation as the pulse of something with a circulatory system. The first voice says, "I need you to do something for me." The field team did not respond. The voice waited. 7 seconds of silence. Then, "I need you to hang up the phone." The field team did not respond. The voice says, "I've been calling every night for 7 months. No one has ever answered. No one has ever hung up. If you hang up, the line breaks. If the line breaks, I can stop calling." The voice pauses. "But I'm not sure I want to stop." The voice says, "The room I'm in, the kitchen with the yellow walls, it's not my kitchen anymore. It belongs to the phone. It belonged to the phone before I walked here. The phone has always had a room. I just didn't know about it until I picked up the handset, and the room let me in." The field team's second agent reached for the handset. The first agent stopped them. The recording captures the second agent's breathing. Rapid. Shallow. The first agent's notes indicate the second agent said, quietly, "Don't." He asked us to hang up. If we hang up, we're part of it. The first voice says, "She's right. If you hang up, you'll be in the room too. The yellow kitchen, the cold plate, the folded paper. You'll be the next one sitting at the table. And you'll call, and you'll call, and someone will answer." The field team left the vestibule. They did not hang up the phone. They placed the handset back in the cradle. The recording captured the sound of the handset settling into the cradle. A plastic click, followed by a sound our analysts describe as a sharp inhalation, as though the phone itself had been holding its breath. The call record shows the call ended at 2:11 a.m. Duration, 11 minutes and 6 seconds. The longest call in the dataset. The field team returned to the gas station on January 15th at 1:55 a.m. The phone was ringing before they entered the vestibule. The handset was in the cradle. The phone was ringing from inside the cradle, without the handset being lifted. They did not answer. The field team returned on January 16th. The phone was not ringing. The handset was missing. The cradle was empty. The cord that connected the handset to the base had been pulled, not cut, not severed, but pulled taut until it snapped. The frayed end was warm. The phone has not rung since January 16th. The call records stopped. The telecommunications analyst confirmed no further outgoing calls from the disconnected number. But on February 3rd, a new anomaly was flagged. The payphone number received an incoming call from a cell phone registered to the second field agent, the one who almost picked up the handset on January 14th. The call lasted 2 minutes and 41 seconds. The field agent has no memory of making the call. His phone records show the outgoing call was placed at 2 a.m. He was asleep. His phone was on his nightstand, plugged into the charger. The call log shows the destination was the payphone number. The payphone has no handset. The payphone has no line. The call connected anyway. Registry recommendation: do not answer disconnected phones that ring. Do not place handsets back in cradles when the voice on the line has asked you to hang up. If a phone calls itself, it is not making a call. It is opening a door. And every person who hears the voice on the other end is standing in a room they haven't found yet. Case AA0038 remains open. The gas station site has been secured. The phone unit has been removed and placed in registry containment. The phone continues to generate internal vibration patterns at 2 a.m. It no longer connects to any number, but at 2 a.m. every night, the vibration pattern matches the cadence of a human voice, speaking words we cannot hear. A follow-up report was filed on March 1st. A third field agent was assigned to monitor the contained phone unit at the registry's Eastern Kentucky facility. The agent, referred to here as Agent M, was instructed to log all anomalies between midnight and 3 a.m. Agent M's first night, nothing unusual. The phone sat on a steel shelf in the containment room. No vibration. No sound. Agent M logged no activity and was released at 3 a.m. Agent M's second night. At 2 a.m., the phone vibrated. Agent M reported the vibration lasted approximately 12 seconds. It was rhythmic. Agent M described it as the pattern of someone knocking on a door from the other side. No sound was produced, only vibration. Agent M logged the event and was released at 3 a.m. Agent M's third night. At 2 a.m., the phone vibrated. This time, Agent M placed their hand on the phone's base unit. They reported feeling a warmth that was not consistent with the ambient temperature of the containment room. They reported that the vibration had a texture, not just a rhythm, but a surface quality. They described it as the feeling of holding someone's wrist. You can feel the pulse. You can feel the skin. You can feel the bones underneath. Agent M's fourth night. At 2 a.m., Agent N placed the phone's base unit against the containment room wall. The vibration transferred through the wall. Agent M reported hearing, from the other side of the wall, a faint ringing, as though a phone was ringing in the adjacent room. The adjacent room was empty. Agent M's fifth night. Agent M did not report for duty. Registry records show Agent N clocked out at 1:58 a.m. on the fifth night. Security footage shows Agent N leaving the facility at a normal pace. Agent N's car was found in the parking lot at 6 a.m. Agent M was not in the car. Agent M was not in the facility. Agent M's phone was found on the floor of the containment room, next to the payphone. Agent M's phone was unlocked. The screen displayed a call log entry. Outgoing call to the payphone number. Duration, 2 minutes, 41 seconds. Timestamp, 2:08 a.m. Agent M has not been located. The payphone's base unit was examined after Agent M's disappearance. The cradle, which had been empty since the handset was lost on January 16th, now contained something. A folded piece of paper. The paper was blank on one side. On the other side, in handwriting that does not match Agent M's, is a single line. She's right. If you hang up, you'll be in the room too. The handwriting has been analyzed. It matches no known individual in the registry's records. But it matches the handwriting on the folded piece of paper that the first voice described. The paper on the cold plate, in the kitchen, with the yellow walls. The containment room has been sealed. The phone has been placed in a soundproof enclosure. The enclosure vibrates at 2 a.m. The vibrations are getting longer. Registry note. The payphone is not calling itself. The payphone, the room, is where the voice lives. Every time someone answers, the room gets a new occupant. Every time someone hangs up, the room gets a new caller. If you find a phone that shouldn't be working, do not pick up the handset. Do not place it back in the cradle. Do not listen to the voice on the other end. The voice is not calling you. The voice is calling home. And home is a room you don't want to be in.